Hello everyone, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com, and my first name has one L in it in my website link. Today you'll learn how to make this 2-page fall layout using our Golden Harvest collection, and I also used our pumpkin patch border punch. I'm going to set this aside for the moment. This is the Golden Harvest border punch, and I'm going to open it up here. When you store it in your case or in your totes, it's like this, so it's flat. You push this little button to the left if it's facing this way, and this pops up so that you can use it. Now, I used this wood look paper on here, but I've used all of that paper up because I've been making a lot of fall ideas. So I'm going to show you how to do this with cardstock, but the technique's the same, it's just different paper. So I'm going to grab this Power Project folder, which has everything in it that I used on the layout. These are the photo mats that I used. And this is the paper that I used, except I am using cardstock instead. I use this orange paper and these stickers. I'm going to set this aside here, and all I have to do is punch one straight across border. It's the only cut I have to do. Well, another cut, but this is the only cut I have to do on this piece of paper. Now, to cut a border, when you're just cutting a straight border, you start right here on this black line. So I'm going to put my cardstock in here and start on the black line right there. That's where the end of my cardstock is. It's lined up on this raised area right here, and I'm holding it firmly with my thumb so that it won't slip on me when I cut. And then I move my scraps out of the way and I bring it down and match up my pattern. And basically what I mean is, if you look on here, the blue part will be what you just cut out. The silver part is the background. So what you want to do is you want to put your cardstock directly on top of the blue so that all you see is the silver showing through the design. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to match it up. I'm going to turn it this way just so y'all can see it. I'm matching it up so that the design is completely covered up and I see the silver background. Now, don't worry about seeing this blue line. That line is for a different purpose. It is designed for you to use when you make frames with this, and I will be showing you that later. But just cover up the design that you just cut out, and that means it's in the right spot for you to make your next punch. Make sure it's straight along this lip right here. That's very important, and it's on top of the design. I'm going to move it a little because it slid on me. And punch, and you just do that all the way down. Punch, and then I'm going to move my scraps out of the way after every couple of cuts. Now I'm going to hold it steady down here. Move my scraps away. Sometimes your scraps can get caught up in there and clog things up, so that's why I like to move them out of the way. Not after every cut, but maybe after 2 cuts. Okay, it's matched up. I'm holding it straight and punch. It's matched up. I'm holding it straight and punch. And so then I have the top as a pumpkin border. And this is like probably the easiest layout I've ever taught. You just mount it on top of this autumn leaves paper. You just find the edge that you like the best. I think they're all the same. If it's a directional pattern, you want to be sure to follow the direction, but it's not, so it doesn't really matter. I want about that much to show at the top there. Now, I don't want to waste all this paper by mounting this on top of this, so I just really need a strip. So I'm just going to draw a line about right here so it goes past all my cutout parts and cut that with my straight trimmer. Grab my trimmer, and it's got the straight blade in it. I'm going to line this up at the top, and I'm going to, let's do this direction because I always teach it this way. I'm going to line the pencil line up with this left-hand side dotted line here. That's where my blade comes down. And then make sure it follows the grid line all the way down to stay straight. And make sure it's straight at the top too so it won't cut crooked. hold my paper down pretty firmly with my left hand. I'm right-handed, and then just kind of press firm and go up and down with my blade. And that's really all that I need from this orange paper. So I have a lot of paper left to do something else with. So now I'm going to grab my cardboard, just because when I use my tape runner, I want the excess to come off on the cardboard and not on my table. So this comes out in little clear dots, repositionable tape runner. Just put some on the back here. And it's great because it just sticks where it needs to stick, and it's clear dots, so you don't see pieces of tape through the intricate holes. This is the only thing I like to craft with because of that. And I love that you can also pick things up and move them around while you're crafting until you get everything in the right spot. And then over time it settles down and just becomes more permanent. So I'm going to mount this. I want about that much of the orange to show at the top. So I'm just going to eyeball it and go straight across. And then just rub it gently. If you do see any little clear dots, you just kind of rub them off. There's one right there. You probably can't even see it on the camera. See these little intricate things, like I just folded that up. I'm going to put a little extra piece there just because it was loose. And if any others start to come up, I'll do the same. So that's really all I do to get the design of my paper. And then I do need to cut this at the bottom because it's longer than 12 by 12 now. So I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock that's 12 by 12 and use it to measure and draw a pencil line so I can cut that small little sliver off of the bottom to make it 12 by 12 to fit in my scrapbook. So I want to cut right there. And I'm going to grab my trimmer again and put that pencil line on this left-hand side dotted line here on my rubber mat. Make sure it's straight up here and straight all the way down, and it is. And cut that off, and now my page is a 12 by 12 so that it will fit in my top loading pages, or yeah, that's what I'm going to do with this, put it in top loading pages. So that is all I do to get that look. And again, I use this wood grain paper. I think it's really pretty, but I'm just out of it. So I showed you on cardstock. And then I do the same thing on another piece of paper. I do like to scrapbook in 2-page layouts myself. Let me move this over so you can see this a little better. I like how it flows together, and when you open your scrapbook, you see it all and it kind of goes together. So when I can, I make a 2-page layout. Now, I would add my photos here. I cut the photos and put the measurements so you can just look at that. Put those down with the repositionable tape runner, just a little dab on every corner. And then this is one of our mats from the Variety Mat Pack, and it was this big, but you're not stuck with this size. You can always cut it down to fit the area you need. I already drew pencil lines where I needed it cut, and I'm just going to take my trimmer and match that pencil line up with that left-hand side dotted line right there and cut, and do the same thing down here. Match that pencil line up with that left-hand side dotted line there and cut. So now I have more of a square piece instead of a rectangle, and it fits in the area that I need. And I would just mount this on top of this. I wanted this as my background. Now let me tell you, let me see if I can do it this way. Yeah, any way I do it, a little white's going to stick out. So let me tell you how I did this. I cut this down into pieces. Kind of cut the middle out of it. And then I'm going to piece it together to make it like a mat on the back. What I'm going to do first is mount this at the top. I'm going to try to get it correct on 2 sides. So I want about that much to show out of the side and the bottom and the top. That's a little bit too much on that side, but I'll cut that off. So what I'm going to do is put a little tape runner there and at least get 2 sides the way I want them so I don't have to cut those. And then do the same thing here and get it right on the bottom the way I want it. and match this side up, and then move it down till the bottom is right. Normally I would just use paper to do this, but we didn't have a paper that looked like this, just this card, and I really like the look of this, how it kind of brought out the orange a little bit. Okay, so, oops, that's not correct on that side. I didn't match it up on the side very well. Now let's try this again. Let's match it up on the side and on the bottom. So now all I have to do is cut that just a tiny bit. And since it is such a small cut that I need to do, I'm just gonna use my scissors because I can look at that really well. It's easier, I think, to cut with your scissors when you have that skinny of a piece. Okay, and then I like that. So that's how I got that look. And then here, I used, I actually grabbed the wrong one, but it was an orange one, basically the same as the one I used up there. And I cut it down a little bit to fit in this area, and then I just journaled on it with a pen, with a Creative Memories scrapbook pen that's acid-free, water-resistant, fade-proof, and everything. They're perfect for scrapbooking. And then I added these stickers from Golden Harvest. So that is a really easy 2-page layout, and I really like how it turned out. I love these papers. I love this wood paper. I love it so much that I've used every bit that I had, and I actually bought several collections of this. So anyway, you got to learn how to do it with cardstock. And I think this pumpkin patch border punch is cool. And I do want to say, by now, I bet Creative Memories has already sold out of this pumpkin patch because it went on limited edition the last time I was on the website. Like, it was almost out of stock. So I've ordered a bunch of these because I knew I was going to be doing a bunch of ideas with them, and I wanted to be able to supply my clients with these. So if you need one of those and it's not on the website, let me know. My email address is, I'll put my email address in the link below, and you can also access it from my website. All right, thank y'all for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day.